If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. Child shall lead them.
Oh, I thought we were having a problem. I was like, no. Okay, this is the stream comments that Middle-earth wanted read. Controller of Mine seems to have a deep stack of fantastic music that he can put together in a quick minute. Thank you to Controller of Minds for another stream collaboration. I proposed a Song 3 by the Teruki is truly a joint pick, as we both are enthusiastic about the band and the album, and we both wanted them in the stream. No doubt it would have been in the 2002 EU Album of the Year poll, AOTY, no longer possible as the EU rules only allow new to Vin and Sori bands. Sorry to the EU Alliance for taking Teruki off the table. If you don't like black or death metal, this stream will not be a pleasurable experience for you song-wise. I was once one of the detractors, and then at some point I completely changed my opinion to the point that most of what I listen to is black and death metal. So there is hope for you who dislike these forms of metal. If you don't like black death metal and don't like any particular song that would be on me, that would be on me, he says. Well, the order kind of got a little mixed up here, so I'm not sure if song number 1 is still the same. Song number 1 was supposed to be from a Finnish band, but my CD is MIA and never arrived with those lyrics. So no lyrics, no song. But with its replacement, we now have songs from the bands of 6 different countries: Italy, United States, Tahiti, Germany, Finland, and Canada.
Talk to him, brother
All
minister.
right,
We got
so,
the United Nations of black metal.
And now I'm going to read the intro to this song.
Yes,
so
sir.
This is Ruki-Marako Teruki. French Polynesian tribal black metal band. This song has a bit of Tahitian nasal flute, and Polynesian drums, giving the black...
Nasal flute?
That's what it says, a nasal flute. Right there.
Somebody explain a nasal flute. Maybe Perkinoff knows. Continue.
Giving the black metal a distinctive tribal twist. Cool. Was not sure we could get this played in the stream as only the available lyrics were in the Teomutu language, which is only spoken by approximately 4,000 people. Didn't you already read this? It is classified as an endangered language.
Whoa.
Related to Mayaro. I thought I might get an online translator to pump something out in English and call it a day. The various translators detected Mayaro, but the result was gibberish. So on May 6th, I contacted the band about some English lyrics, and Amora responded immediately. He said that he was very busy, but that he needed a little moment to do it. Did not want to push it with him. So I then considered a professional translation service, but I could not find one that did Teumoto. But thankfully last week he got the English lyrics up on Bandcamp. We corresponded a bit and he knows I am the I avatar. He said, "May the eye protect you and your close ones." Not sure that he has seen The Lord of the Rings, but his sincerity is so genuine and touching to me. Teiruko means the night in Teumoto. Oh, that was cute. Well, good for them. You helped them out by getting them to put their lyrics up on Bandcamp.
Yes.
They should have had that before, especially if it's an endangered language. Absolutely. So good for you.
All right, let's do it. Here we are.
Illuminated night.
Let's go. Boop.
Wow. Okay.
This was a really, really freaking cool song, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
love that they put that.
appreciate the hell out of this song.
So I looked up a nasal flute. It's an odd sort of instrument. I don't understand what the benefit is in blowing it from your nose and not your mouth.
It's probably gets you a different sound.
Yeah.
Probably a more subdued note signature because you're going from the secondary to the... But go ahead.
But I love that they put that in there, and like the sounds at the beginning and the sounds at the end were just like, what an interesting way to start and end a song, and then to put that other
Sandwich.
Style in there, like it was just unexpected.
Yeah,
I
there
really
were a
liked
couple
that.
things that they did, like in that middle of the song that I'd never really heard before. They were riding on the hi-hat for a little bit, which is normal, especially when you want to do a tempo change. But the way that they did it with the other chords and notes, I thought was pretty badass. I really enjoyed I really enjoyed the song. And on top of that, lyrically, it seems like
We're talking about Lord of the Rings, right?
The god of of fire, right?
I'll start to tease you because you're like, you never know what's going on in the song. Oh, we're talking about the demigod.
I didn't say that you didn't know. What I said was like your interpretation is always like it's different. It's outside the box. But then when I read just the basics of what the lyrics mean, you act like you've never heard it before. That's the crazy part to me.
Okay, so in this one we're talking about the demigod. Well, their demigod that they believe, like, it's their legendary demigod that discovered fire for them.
You know, that's really fascinating that, because even Muhammad, there was a group of people that were fire worshippers. I forgot the name of the group. In Mecca that were fire worshippers. It's fascinating to me that the Bible does not attribute fire to Yahweh, but there doesn't seem to be a major primer on fire at all, other than Yahweh's presence. But as far as like the practical outworking and benefit of fire, God doesn't really seem that jealous to stake his claim. But if you look at a lot of other religions and pagan religions, the moment that we quote discovered fire is almost exclusively attributed to some divine being coming down and explaining it to us. So it's very fascinating to me that the Bible doesn't go out of its way to claim credit for fire from Yahweh. So that's an interesting, take. Obviously, the sun worship, the lunar worship, but it seems that obviously Yahweh is much more worried about Ashtoreth than he is about people worshiping fire and all the rest of it. But I just thought that was really, really interesting. And obviously, when you're a kid, you're like, why would you worship fire? I didn't understand why a person would worship fire when I was a kid, but now it's like, now you understand like the practical ramifications. Especially when I was in Florida, I didn't really see a lot of value in fire. But the practical ramifications of fire are legion, obviously. But it's just fascinating to me that wasn't a part of the Old Testament economy.
Yeah,
because that seems like a pretty big invention to take credit for. But go ahead.
Well, it's funny that you say like you couldn't understand why somebody would want to worship like the god of fire or something like that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I remember thinking any worship of anything other than Jesus or Yahweh was crazy because obviously my faith was really strong when I was little, but also my experience of God was so strong that I was like, this is ridiculous. Why would anybody like trust in anything other than Yahweh?
Oh.
So whether it was fire or the sun or
Yahweh,
that was the only exception. But then it made sense that they would pick, fire or the sun or anything like that. But remember, in the last, a couple songs ago, I said that I thought that as soon as you told them, people were going to be like, oh, well, there's the truth. That's it. So,
Hola otra vez.
I love hearing like legends from different areas.
Me too.
Why? It's very interesting.
Well, for me, I always try to look for the similarities of what I believe. It's funny because back in the, like when I first started taking my own faith seriously, I would look at all these other religions to find the flaw and go, ha! You know? And I mean, that kind of stopped when I grew up, to be honest with you. And the other
Why?
thing, it was like, why? And the other thing was, I realized that I was looking at all these major religions, and if you study them, like try to study them academically and things like that, you get to the guy on the ground, they don't know what you're talking about. You gotta tell you talk with a Muslim, you go, Ibn Kathir this, you know, fiqh scholar that, yada, yada, yada. Most Muslims don't know what the hell you're talking about. So, and the second thing for me, it was just when I said, oh, well, we're the only ones that have a resurrection. So, the resurrection thing to me was it.
Open and close.
Because now you've got, you know, like Jordan Peterson said, you've got this myth that's also intersecting with an actual historical being. And then for me, everything came to be about, okay, well, if Jesus really did pull that shit off, then by default, I'm done with all the other religions. You don't have anything, you don't even have the ridiculousness of the claim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That the next major religion is Islam. They don't claim that Muhammad rose from the dead. That Jewish lady poisoned him. No disrespect to the Jewish people, but they poisoned the homie, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was dead. That was it. They actually let his body lie in state for a little bit because Muhammad said that decomposition doesn't happen to the prophet, so they were gonna kind of keep him in state. But then, you know, the room got a little pungent for obvious reasons. Like I'm trying to be
what did they
respectful
do?
here.
Like, how did they excuse that away?
Whether or not you had to excuse it away, I mean, he was funking up the room.
No, I get that, but like, what do they say in their religion?
Well, most Muslims don't even know about that hadith.
Well, that makes sense,
right? So, but my point was like, but now when I look at like pagan religions and things like that, I'm just trying to find where do we relate? Like, how do we get along? Or like, where is there overlap between what I believe and what other people believe?
Yeah. So when
that is true, XBM, you're so right. A Deuteronomy 32 worldview changes your perception of other religions in a positive note. That is so true. That's 100% true. You're right. The Michael Heiser stuff, so that the other gods can be real in a sense that, like, I do believe there's an Odin out there. He calls himself Odin. He just reports to Jesus. That's that's the thing. So I thought that.
I guess I never really paid.
But it makes
XBM is a Christian.
Yeah, XBM's been like. He's from the Bronx.
I know, but I don't really watch the comment sections much. So, okay.
Okay, so
XBM, how old are you?
It's XBM 79, so I'm assuming he was born in 1975, which would make him like 43.
Well, you know, honestly, on this channel, you never friggin' know. Like, is it like Perkinos or something like that? Is like 24 years old, but he comes in here talking like he's 85.
Right. That's
you
true.
have zero clue, and his little picture on the side makes him look like also dated.
But
where XBM sounds like, I don't know. To me, that sounds like young and cool and like. XBM makes me think of like one of those trick bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Perkinos, right?
Yeah,
this
there's
old
Perkinos.
man, that's what I'm saying.
I recently watched a video where a Westerner and an Imam explained to an African Sufi group what they meant by Sufi and Salafi, because they don't actually use those categories in everyday life. Sadaqt.
I wish you lived next to Perk.
Yeah, so do I. I was trying to like bribe Perk to move down to Florida with us. He's like,
didn't work?
That'd be kind of a big investment, he says. He's got a life of his own. He's like, but I'll think about it. He ain't thinking about that shit. He's got his own life over there. He's not gonna fucking move to Florida to be around me. Okay. Very, very long reef, step by step through the seas.
Okay, so this is still talking about the demigod. And like, okay, so my assumption was, because it says Illuminated Night is the name of the song, very, very long reefs, step by step walking through the seas. Like, no human being is going to be able to step through reefs and across the sea like that. But he's a demigod, so he does. And it's illuminated far out there. It is you. You have been called. It is you. So he's saying that this demigod is out there, and this is the god that invented fire? Or discovered fire.
Discovered, invented, whatever. Ha! He didn't want to become the proverbial Florida man. Yeah, he didn't want to be the Florida man, I guess. You know how you
Florida
just
man
Google
this,
Florida man?
that.
It's always some
Yeah.
Florida man doing some
Honestly,
weird shit.
sometimes I think about that and I'm like, geez, I don't want to be a casualty in Florida.
We'll be all right where we are.
Yeah,
Don't
but
worry.
some of these nice neighborhoods have some really.
Yeah, you're watching too much true crime shit. See, like the type of shit that would happen to people where we're gonna live, like that's their own fault. You see what I'm saying? It's like they invested $5 million into like, vegan grass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, wouldn't all grass be vegan?
That's my point. But those people, once they hit a certain monetary level, they have to justify why they've spent all their lives making money.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
All right, these people want us to be disciplined in reviews. All right, what do you give this song?
I 9.6. Oh no, I think I have to go up higher because they had that sound in there and because only 4,000 people speak this language and it's an endangered language.
Right.
Okay, so 9.89.
Well, this band has pretty much solidified that the language is never truly going to go out of circulation because you have this and you have like translation, so you can use this.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said that Middle helped by getting them to put their friggin' translation up on Bandcamp. That's good. That's good for their language as a whole.
No, I agree.
He literally helped.
We're doing,
doing
a
a-
global service.
Yes.
We are globalists here, dear listener.
Look what us and our patrons are doing. We're
yeah.
saving children in Tahiti. No, it wasn't Tahiti. Where
Yeah,
was
it's
it?
Tahitian, and we're also globalists. So
Yep. And here we are helping the endangered
Did I tell you
languages
that-
of the
Did
world.
I tell you about that guy?
No.
It was the wildest conspiracy theory I'd ever heard in my life. Okay, rate
Oh,
this
you
song.
can't-
This is
yeah,
a 9.7
after.
for me.
9.89 for me.
9. There you are, dear listener. This shit was tight. I mean,
Did you see Perk said he can come there all
I'm only gonna worship the Trinity. But if I worshipped a pagan god, it would be this guy because fire is pretty badass. There you go, dear listener. Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Gone.